Alright guys, TacticalRab again. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far with so much talk about Black Ops 7 over the last couple of days, with Call of Duty next, just around the corner, the beta just after that, and the game not far from launching at all. Big questions happening on whether the game is actually going to be particularly sound, especially from a competitive perspective. Lots of concerns about the way things look right now for competitive by many that saw the multiplayer reveal over the last couple of days, but it seems already Treyarch is stepping in and making some substantial changes to the way the game is going to look to try and improve it for everyone next season. Dashy, among others, very happy about this development. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. I did just see this clip floating around yesterday on Advanced Warfare, and I just wanted to kind of share it because I thought, I don't know, jetpacks are just so much fun. This map, Riot Search and Destroy, one of my favorites ever. I don't really think it's possible to bring it back in a non-jetpack game, unfortunately. But yeah, the BAL, Riot Search and Destroy, it doesn't get too much better than this. We saw many great clips over on this map over time. This was another pretty good one. Clearly, people are still playing Chals on Black Ops, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, other games like that, which is still pretty nice to see. This tweet trend has been doing the rounds over the last couple of days. I'm not going to try and read this out. I'm not going to try and give myself an aneurysm. What was funny about this is that these tweets are Shotzzy's worst nightmare, and he actually stumbled across this tweet last night, and the poor guy was absolutely mind blown. So I wanted to share that clip for you guys just to start off the video, really.
We're probably announced next season. We're not never, but also always will. What? Fuck is this shit? They officially became the very first to be the first after being like, yo, I can't read. Yo, am I tripping? They officially became the very first to be the first after being last before the start of the map. What the fuck? Historic moment in the timeline of scrims and rotations. Congratulations. Am I on Mars, dude? Congratulations. We are proud to announce that next season we're not never, but also always will. They officially became the very first to be the first after being last before the start of when a map was mapped. Historic moment in the timeline of scrims and rotations. Congratulations. I don't get the fuck this is talking about. So wait, what even is this, chat? I don't like. What the fuck is this shit? What was my timing on that, dude? Oh my god, bro. Oh my fucking god. I remember, bro, chat. I'll never forget this shit. So this is 3v4. 3v4. I'm like right here or some shit. I'm like, wait up. I know what the fuck they're doing. I go up here. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. I knew no one was rich because they're doing the wallbang shit. So then I do this. Go here. I get in here without them seeing me, right? And then I was like, oh my god. The guy's doing the wallbang, so I'm gonna literally crawl the way up, try to get time in and go over there. Go like this. I fuck it up somehow. I do it again. I end up spotting him. I'm like, oh my god. I go like this. I don't see shit, bro. I don't see him right there. I'm literally going like this and nothing. Go like that. Randomly, I take a timing. Or wait, no, that was. Go back up. Right. Or wait.
Speaking of Shotzzy, Kaysan is running a tournament. We know that he said that he's looking to run 2 or 3 tournaments over October, November. This appears to be the first one. So there's going to be a 2v2 LAN tournament with some big names. This is actually great to see. The 18th of October, $25,000 on the line at TwitchCon San Diego. So this is the plan. Here's Kaysan. These are the guys. Now we saw last year they ran a 2v2 tournament. It was Scrap and HyDra, right? They took the win on that occasion. So I'm guessing they're going to run it back this time around, and it's pretty interesting, right? So we've got what is this guy? Yeah, Shifty. I was thinking, is he Biffle? But no, that's Shifty, the guy who said if the bag is right, you know. So basically 2 guys from the Warzone, the Falcons Warzone team. I don't think they won the EWC Warzone this time. I think that was Aiden and the team. But yeah, so it's Ahsoka, it's Shifty, and it's Biffle. That's their team of 3, but it's going to be Ahsoka and Shifty playing in this. HyDra and Scrap, the defending champions of last year, probably the favorites, let's be honest, to win it again. Then we've got Drazah and Simp, right? So that's quite the duo from the new FaZe Vegas branding. And then the OpTic guys are going to be there as well. It's going to be Shotzzy and Mercules. So yeah, Falcons Warzone, FaZe, Thieves, OpTic, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, 2v2 LAN tournament. So still playing on Black Ops 6, I guess there's, probably not too many. I mean, you could play it on a different game, but I feel like BO6 is a reasonable game to play. We've not seen it played in some time. Seeing it played 2v2, of course, is a very different story in the first place as well. And yeah, we've got the Kaysan Showdown back at it again going into the upcoming season. So exciting stuff. Looking forward to this. I think that, well, there was this clip actually as well that I shared because Shotzzy was talking about Modern Warfare 3 and getting back on that game, and aBeZy is like, look, I think he was talking about that clip where, of course, famously he killed Kismet in that very important moment down to the wire of that season, and aBeZy says, got to end this off-season. Shotzzy is just running around solo on Modern Warfare 3 Karachi, right? So, it's time to bring it to a close, but at least Kaysan and others have some plans for the near future. Maybe the process will arrive at some point as well, who knows? But yeah, Miles says we're back, so it looks like he's going to be casting that, as he did last year, I think, as well. And then Simp is also looking forward to attending. So that's a tournament to keep in mind. But let's talk a little bit about Black Ops 7, right? Because that was BO6. BO7's coming out soon. As always, there's lots of optimism floating around this game, but there's some good reaction from the players so far. Of course, not everyone's had the opportunity to necessarily play it yet. Many of the players may have done a playtest potentially online, but we definitely know that plenty of them went out to LA to play at the studios. We saw Simp was there, Estriel, Kremp, among others, Slasher, Accuracy, Snoopy, Purge, whoever was JoeDeceives, I think, and maybe a couple of others on that picture that we saw. Those are the guys that got to test it, but at CODNEX in a couple of days there will be more Call of Duty players finally getting their hands on the title. Now, there was some debate here between Zoomer and Zinni about whether a one-burst weapon should come back in. Should we have the M8 back in the game again? Is that viable for competitive? I think the answer is it absolutely should be, and we should probably try to make it viable. In the good games, it was viable, but so were other weapons, right? Like, I always will say, I'll always say this about Black Ops 3 and the way that the weapons are balanced in that game. But just if you guys aren't aware of this, the weapon balancing in Black Ops 3, from the AR perspective, it was most notable actually on the LMGs. So you had the Gorgon LMG, you had the BRM, that was the 3 rounds, or the 3-shot kill, and then you had the Dingo, right? That was the 4-shot kill. The way that those LMGs are balanced, the Gorgon was a 2-shot kill, it fired at a certain fire rate. The BRM was a 3-shot kill, it was obviously fired faster, the Dingo fired quicker than that. But they all had exactly the same time to kill, basically. So the fire rates were aligned such that it killed in this many bullets, but it shot at this speed, and therefore the time to kill was pretty much perfectly balanced across the 3 of them. Now, they did the same thing with the ARs. The Man of War, the HVK, the Man of War was the 3-shot to kill, the HVK was the 4-shot to kill. They balanced the fire rate so that they were just perfectly balanced. And effectively, they looked to do the same thing with all the other ARs, which is why, if you look at that game, the Shiva, the Man of War, the HVK, even the ICR to some degree, Octane would use, the XR2, the 3-round burst, the M8, the 4-round burst, all of these guns were viable because they were intentionally balanced in that way. Of course, nowadays, the pros would probably cry and complain and everything, and it wouldn't happen. And to be fair, Gunsmith has changed the game. The lack of banner protect has changed the game. Of course, back in the day, you couldn't adapt the Man of War that much, right? You put your Man of War on, you could throw a grip on it, a stock and a quick draw if you wanted, and then a sight, right? Those were your options. You couldn't dramatically change the way the weapon performed with all the million attachments. So, to be honest, I think Gunsmith has been the major downfall of the quality of the meta in COD over the last few years. But, some aren't ready for that debate. But let's talk about the state of BO7, because a couple of days ago, there was lots of discussion about the perk system. Which perks from which categories? What are they looking to do? Is perk 1 way too stacked, right? Because we saw the perks the other day. These are the perks. This is perk 1, for example, and many of these perks we want to use for competitive, right? I mean, a ton of these are all ideally, I don't really understand why they're all in the same perk tier, to be honest, but, we've got dexterity, lightweight, gung-ho, potentially all very important perks. Ninja, cold-blooded, of course, Ghost isn't going to be relevant, but, even flak jacket and tactical mask, they're all in perk 1. It's like, what are we doing here, right? I'm not really sure why they came up with this idea. These are the perks in the other tiers, and just they're split by colors because these are the Enforcer perks, these are the Recon perks, these are the Strategist perks. And then if you have a certain combination of this, it then gives you what they call your combat specialist for the game. So anyway, these are the perks if you guys didn't see them the other day. Perk slot 2, then perk slot 3. But understandably, there was some serious debate as to whether this was the best idea. Parasite says they probably should put dexterity in perk 3, as it used to be back in Black Ops 2. Lightweight was a perk 1 perk for many a year, so that's kind of how they want to keep it. But he says perk 1's got way too much competitive, or way too much competition. Well, perk 2 and 3, at least for competitive, have not much competition between perks. So that's what Parasite says. And Matt Scront said on the 22nd of September, so only a couple of days ago, he says, good feedback, aligns with some discussions we have had, something we're taking a look at for launch. So, it was nice to see some feedback, right? Trek were like, you know what, fair points. We're going to think about how we make this better. But actually, as it turns out, they're going to address this far quicker than we expected. Matt Sconce last night comes out and says, we've pulled the trigger already on a few perk changes for the upcoming beta based off feedback this week. So I think it's pretty nice to see that they have been this quick on the trigger, right? Now, look, what they're doing here is not exactly rocket science. They're moving a perk between the perk slots, right? But still, it is nonetheless a change that they didn't have to make, and Matt Scront says, okay, we're going to look at that for launch. But instead, based on feedback by players that have seen the reveal and by players who have played the game at their headquarters, they've decided, okay, we are going to do this now and not wait any longer and see what the feedback is of the beta, and then we'll decide from there. So dexterity is, as Parasite suggested, going to go from perk 1 to perk 3, scavenger from perk 2 to perk 1, and then looper from perk 3 to perk 2. So I think for competitive, having dexterity in perk 3 is a big deal. Getting to run that, I think, will be critical, right? So that will probably now be the standard perk 3 perk. And look, maybe they could do some more things as well. But I think it's nice to see, and as Dashy says in the replies about Legends, go to Moji, just because, it's good that they're making this level of feedback this quickly, right? I mean, you guys remember the last few years, how sometimes the players would give feedback or whatever, we as a community would say something, nothing would happen for a long time, the devs just wouldn't seem to care at all. And just a few days after the players have played it for the first time, they suggested a couple of things, and now the devs are acting on it, right? And that's good to see, because it means that other complaints, other concerns, the devs may look to deal with as well. So Dashy's pretty happy about that result. We got Parasite as well, who says, great change. You've got to choose between Ninja, Flat Tack, or Lightweight, and use perk Greed to use 2 of them, which leaves you vulnerable and also makes Mute Field more viable since you don't constantly have Ninja. Perk 2 equals Fast Hands, perk 3 equals Dexterity or Tack Sprinter. So, yeah, I think it's a good point, right? Perk 1 is still pretty stacked, but you can use perk Greed probably as a wild card to get at least 2 of those perks. And, yeah, obviously Ninja's not relevant in all game modes anyway. So I think it's a pretty decent selection so far. Maybe they could make a couple of further tweaks going forward, but definitely intrigued to your thoughts and all that stuff in the comment section below. A couple of days away from really getting a proper reveal and hands-on look at Call of Duty Black Ops 7, so hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
I would love to see the M8 in competitive Call of Duty. The issue is, it just might be too strong, because one bursts, I think, just have no right being in competitive Call of Duty. That's basically hardcore.
I disagree, Tony. Disagree with what you just said.
Okay, what did I say and what did you disagree with?
You said that one burst don't belong in Call of Duty. You said one burst don't.
That's a fact. A consistent one burst has no place in competitive Call of Duty.
But you have to. But if the burst is not that fast, right? If the burst is slowed and you have to hit every bullet of the burst, it's different. Like, it depends on the burst.
Well, then it wouldn't be a one burst.
Yes, it
Tom,
would. It would still be a one burst.
A consistent one burst, Tom. I'm not saying a one burst every now and then or a difficult one burst.
Wait, hold on.
One
no,
burst.
You just changed it. You said I'm not talking about.
Not.
No, you said I'm just talking about a consistent one burst, but you're talking about one burst. I'm not saying that you can one burst from across the map. I'm saying that you said, quote unquote, a one burst AR shouldn't be in. That's what you said.
Correct. I'm obviously not saying the once in a blue. How?
Because
I'm not saying a once in a blue moon burst.
Think about
the gun consistently
okay. Let me ask you this.
It has no place in competitive Call of Duty.
Okay, consistently one burst is different, but I'm saying
no, because that's obviously what I meant.
Oh, it's obviously now we gotta know obviously what you meant. No, I'm telling you, when you Black Ops 3, okay, you could one burst with an M8. You could one burst in the past with the M8. You can if you hit every bullet and you had a certain range. You could one burst. Are you being
serious?
Yeah, I'm being fucking dead serious right now.
Well,
what, you think I'm joking? You think I'm fucking joking?
The occasional one burst.